As Bulger's mob enforcer, Kevin Weeks says he buried the bodies, moved the guns, and collected the cash which bookmakers and businessmen paid to stay in business. Weeks was one of the government's star eyewitnesses. Last month, he came face to face with his one-time crime partner.
He wasn't the same guy I knew. I mean, he was a lot older, but he had no life in his eyes. He was subdued. He had changed. He just kind of lost the spark.
Weeks turned against his former boss after learning Bulger, who ran a murderous criminal enterprise for 20 years, had spent much of that time as a government informant, the kind of man Bulger always referred to as a rat. During the trial, Weeks and Bulger cursed each other after a defense question about Weeks' role and his regrets.
Basically what he asked me was, he says, "You have no regrets in life. Nothing bothers you." I says, "You know what bothered me?" I says, "We killed 5 people." He says, "And that bothered you?" I says, "No, what bothered me is we killed people for being rats, and I had the 2 biggest rats right next to me."
Defense lawyers argued Bulger never provided any useful information to the government. And though Bulger's lawyers argued crime partner Steve Flemmi killed 2 women, Weeks testified he had seen Jim Bulger murder Deborah Hussey with his own eyes.
And I walked out, and there was Jimmy strangling her. She had walked in the house with Stevie, and Jimmy jumped out and started strangling her. And he killed her, and then she was brought downstairs and, ultimately buried.
Do you ever think of the look on Debbie Hussey's face?
No.
Do you remember the look?
Not really.
Do you remember Bulger and how he reacted after?
He laid down, went to sleep.
Why?
He always did. He was nice and relaxed.
In December 1994, Bulger fled South Boston after a corrupt FBI agent tipped him off the feds were closing in. After a worldwide manhunt, Bulger was finally arrested in Santa Monica, California in 2011.
Whitey Bulger stood up and said he didn't get a fair trial, it was a sham, he had been given immunity by a corrupt prosecutor. What do you think of that?
I'll equate it to this. He got a fairer trial than the people we killed.
Do you think Jim Bulger ever lies awake at night thinking about the people he allegedly killed or he killed?
I think he lies awake at night thinking of the people he should have killed and didn't kill.
If Jim Bulger were sitting across from you right now,
Right.
what would you want to say to him? What
Nothing.
would you tell
I'd
him?
have to shoot him because he'd be trying to shoot me if he was sitting there right now.
Now, Kevin Weeks' testimony at the trial was one of 2 eyewitness testimonies. Also, Bulger's former hitman testified against him. It was the testimony of those 2 men that largely made up the murder cases against Whitey Bulger. Aaron?
Thank you very much.